whole idea of going on first was that I didn't have to follow anybody. Jeez. All right. In researching this topic, I watched a lot of lolcat videos. And I noticed a trend in the highly intellectual and articulate world of YouTube commentary, which was this. If no one has yet commented on said video, then it behooves you to say this and only this. First! Just like that, in all caps, preferably. So, as the first speaker of the affirmative, I guess it's up to me to fill that role in tonight's debate. So, first! Yes, the language is being poisoned. It's really easy to misunderestimate our position as wanting to capture language and stifle it. This is not only wrong, it's impossible. Like a Brisbane taxi driver, the English language doesn't care what you think of it or what direction it's heading. I mean, take a word like lol. I like lol. In the general gist of English doing what English does, lol has morphed from being a straight-up initialism into finding its own beautiful niche. Lol doesn't mean laugh out loud anymore. It means lol. You know what I'm talking about. And as Australians, the collective inventor of strine, I mean, we can hardly begrudge the prevalence of slang emerging in our language. But language is a toolkit, and the quality of the tools available determines what we can build from it. George Orwell suggested that a lack of access to language reduced the mind's ability to think coherently, or something like that. Where strine was a rich deposit of inventive reconstruction that built Australian English, the English language that is emerging in some quarters as the digital lingua franca seems to be actively chipping away at intent and meaning until nothing is left but a vague grunt of quantifiable likes. The language will change, of course it will. The poisoning we're referring to here isn't the ongoing natural evolution of language, it's sabotage, conducted through that most nefarious of means, laziness. Take one of the worst offenders, one of my pet hates, a phrase you too may have come across in your own buzz-gorged news feed. This is basically the best thing ever. I have never heard that phrase associated with anything that remotely touches the best thing in the next 5 minutes. Go ahead and Google that exact phrase and you'll find it associated with the following things. Star Wars bloopers. Katy Perry and Rihanna's friendship. Some crummy collection of novelty engagement photos. Gravity, which strangely enough is the law of nature and not the movie. And sarcasm. Think about that. Hyperbole, used sincerely to describe sarcasm. This isn't linguistic experimentation. This is language constructed from ready-made bits of crap and endlessly recycled. I would call it Lego language, but Lego requires a modicum of creativity and skill. Shakespeare experimented with language. He invented 104 completely new words according to a novelty coffee mug in my office. And really, what better source can you find in an information-saturated age? And here's something interesting. Shakespeare had a big stage for his innovations and feedback from a large and active audience. People listened to him. He didn't just invent words for the hell of it, and he wasn't mindlessly aping Christopher Marlowe. He was filling gaps. He was finding nuance in language. And most importantly, he was thinking clearly about what he wanted to say. He wasn't just mashing a couple of fat thumbs on glass to impart the first random fluff that drifted into his consciousness. No, he had an appreciation of his stage and he used it well because he had something to say. So, shall I compare thee to a Bieber tweet?
Yeah!
Justin Bieber has a stage and an audience that the Bard would have killed for. Roughly 50 million actual human beings and some bots receive the accumulated wisdom of the Beeb on a daily basis. What makes this such an interesting contrast is that this is a man with precisely nothing to say. But despite this, the Beebs feels the necessity to share his lack of anything to say. Allow me to share with you some recent highlights. 18th of May with 95,000 retweets. Loving life. 19th of May with 110,000 retweets. Life is beautiful. On the 20th of May, 95,000 retweets. All smiles. On the 21st of May, with 89,000 retweets, life is good. And on the 22nd of May, with 84,000 retweets, the Biebs just gives up entirely and tweeted the following. Lol. The imperative to share every single thought that crosses your mind fuels this very laziness that is diminishing our language. Is it any wonder that the network itself is beginning to find its own voice and speak back to us? I'm talking, of course, about spam bots. Actual human beings are stripping the thought and expression from their language at the same time as the machines are refining and polishing their voices. The machines are doing this because they want to understand us and because they want us to deposit an amount of money into a Nigerian bank account. And so, I quote, "Good publish. I find out something even more challenging on distinctive blogs each day. It is going to be stimulating to read content material from other writers and practice a little something from their retailer. I'd prefer to use some with the content material on my blog, whether you do not mind. Naturally, I'll give you a website link on your internet blog." So, who's the more articulate? Spambot or Kardashian? We can turn this ship around. We're writers here, for God's sake. Let's set the trend. Innovate, sure, but start by having something to say. Find a voice, and above all, resist the urge to brag that it's the most profound thought ever. Thank you.